Welcome back, everybody. We are here. It is 8 o'clock on the 21st of June. That would be a Saturday. Welcome one, welcome all. If you're watching live or if you're watching later, don't forget there is a Discord join link which you can click on. It's in the description. Hello, everybody. I've had a wild ride today, so I've just been, working on my projects and stuff and just trying to get on with it. Working towards the big release and all that good stuff. Hello MZ, hello, welcome to the stream, you're first here. It must be hot out there, I think everybody's like melting in the sun. I've just eaten my dinner, so here we are, starting off again. I was going to have like loads of stuff to show you guys, and we're still going to look at it, but it's kind of a little bit of a strange vibe tonight, because, well, the best way is just to show you. Hang on. So if I just grab a different account, just go to github.com. And by the way, I've got no idea why this is. I've asked them, no explanation. So I was uploading the project. I was uploading version 3 of Zero Vector, and they flagged my account. So basically, the whole of Mushroom Fleet GitHub is down. It's gone. Now, is it gone? No, it's not gone. It's still all there, but they've like put me in restricted mode. And I thought, well, I've got a second account for Scuffed Epoch, so I'll just use that while they figure out whatever it is that's. And then they flagged that account too. So I was like, oh great. So no matter how many accounts I have, they'll just flag them all. So basically, I can't use GitHub until they figure out whatever this is, okay? Now, I'm just a little guy, do you know what I mean? I'm not like backed by anyone, I don't have like, you know, loads of advertising or anything like, you know. And the thing is, I've done a lot of work, it's all open source, I'm proud of it. I know it's helped a lot of people, there's a lot of people that forked my stuff, whatever, that's why I put it up there. But, like literally guys, check it, there's nothing. There's nothing. This is all. I'm not like, you know, selecting or anything. This is by date. Look, it's like June, May, April. There's literally nothing. So, and no emails either. No emails. So basically, they've shut my entire GitHub down. So what am I going to do about it? Well, I'm not going to complain about it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to build a second website. I bought the domain name, bought the new server, because I could vibe code. I could create this without needing this. I don't need the whole of GitHub. I just need a website that people can download my code from. If they're going to pull silly buggers on me, I'll build my own. It's ridiculous. I've no idea why, MZ. I was uploading an update just before I put it live, and the thing is, you can't even say, oh, it got loads of traffic or something that would like cause them to be like, ooh, what's going on here? My traffic hasn't changed. It's about what the views, you know, the views I get on the stream is about I get about triple in terms of downloads. It's not a big project, you know what I mean? It's just something I've been working on the side. I've had nothing to say why, nothing. I applied to get my account reinstated and I've had no response. Do you know what I mean? So this is another thing. Everyone says, oh, just use GitHub. Just use GitHub. It's easy. Just use GitHub. Yeah. Yeah, about that. So yeah, I've been shadow banned. They've shadow banned not only Mushroom Fleet, they've also shadow banned Scuffed Epoch as well. So, like, do you know what I mean? Isn't that a little bit overkill to shadow ban the entire account and any account that's related? Like, what did I do? Did I shoot someone? Like, did I shoot the Prince of Austria? What's going on here? You know what I mean? I don't understand. It's like overkill, basically. But I'm hoping that this is a misunderstanding, or at least I can get told what the problem is so I can solve it. Because it seems a little bit crazy to shut down 170 repos, of which some are like downstream. People are using my stuff like to build things. So them doing this is like super insane. So I'd like to know like why. Because the thing is, yeah, it was like, oh, because on the Scuffed Epoch it said, we've detected unusual activity. And I'm like, what? I'm uploading a repo after having put my password in and having done the two-factor authentication with the Authenticator app. Like, what is this, a heist? It's like Ocean's 14, except they're uploading some new vibe-coded thing to my GitHub. I don't see why that would be... You see what I mean? Anyway, Bottom line is they shut down both of these accounts. It's all still there, but I can't. So anyway, you can't get there. Suck. So what I'm thinking is, I'm just going to make my own place to distribute the stuff from. If they're going to be silly billies about it. Yeah, just keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah, it does. It does. It means I'm doing the right thing. Look, I hate to speculate because it's easy to get conspiratorial. But the timing is interesting. So, like, I tried to upload my new... Anyway, let's have a look at it, shall we? Because we've got it right here, and there's a link in the Discord. So, if you see the Discord disappear, my goodness, what have I created? You know what I mean? Grab it while you can. I'm sure it's unrelated. It has to be. But for the sake of argument, let's take a look at what this thing can do, shall we? Boom, 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 boom. So I got a bit of a headache, man. When I was driving, I should have drank more water. The other day. Okay, so if I come down here, let's get this party started, shall we? So, oh. Wait, let me just see what it's telling me to do. This looks like weird. The install instructions are a bit weird. Ah, prerequisites, everything already running. Okay. Well, that's not actually... It skipped... Am I... This README has skipped the entire installation. Oh, well, I guess you're supposed to know how to do it by now. Literally, the installation instructions are like... just for the MCP, and it says... existing. Alright, I kind of know what I have to do, but I might just go and get the old... Right, let's just do some stuff here. And grab README old from the previous beta, which was more or less complete. Yeah. And in fact, let's just take a quick dive into what this thing can do real quick, because I think it's nice to front load the show a little bit before we start getting into my code. In the docs folder, there's a website. There we go. So, because this tool has become so complicated, I decided to create an educational tool to teach you how to use it. Because it's not really enough to just give you 20 README files. So what we've got here is actually a course that will teach you how to use the tool. Because it is complicated, it has a lot of things it can do. So we go through your first workflow, customizing, creating custom personas. I don't know why that one's first, but anyway. Persona memory management, multi-step reasoning, human approval workflows, and cross-persona coordination. We also have workflow execution. Now, if you go to the advanced section, there's a developer area which teaches you about, just further down the bottom, teaches you about the conversation workflow, the cross-persona workflow, so multi-agent workflows, and then human approval. It's got a demonstration of all of them. So as you can see here, it's basically saying, you know, you're going to learn about how to do conversations. Okay, so like it's like a permanent thread, you know, between you and the agent. So in VS Code, look for a chat window, text box where you can find it. So that's, you know, the prompt. So look, literally, this is like for ultimate beginners. Finding the chat area, you know what I mean? It's like right down to the basics. If you just come past all of that. Asking about cats, yeah? So click in the chat box. Type your first workflow. I would like to use zero vector workflow to learn about cats. Please tell me interesting facts about cats using the zero vector conversation workflow. And you send your message. It'll say thinking about it, and then it'll come back with this. LangGraph workflow executed successfully. It used a thread ID, it used a workflow ID, it used the persona helpful assistant, it used the workflow zero vector conversation. Response messages. Here are some fascinating facts about cats. And here you are. Right. So, like I said, what just happened? Everything worked. Good stuff. So you have a unique name for the workflow, the AI thread, so you can call it back up, the actual answer. The AI is going to remember the context from the conversation. It will be searching through its memories as well, if it has any. And over time, it's going to learn. Okay. So exercise 1 is use zero vector conversation. Tell me how to make scrambled eggs step by step. We'll have to try these out. But anyway, if I go on to the creating of the personas, as you can see, we've got study buddy, fitness coach, writing mentor, code reviewer, brand strategist, data analyst. So you can create new personas, you can get persona, you can update existing persona, you can list the ones you have and delete them. Okay. And this is how you would create one. This is like a copy pasta for creating a... Oh, this is insane. Yeah, I know. My GitHub got... Well, it was on GitHub, mate, but then they took my GitHub down. If you join our... If you're in our Scuff Depop Discord, if you go over to the inside line, I've put the source that we're looking at right now. It's all in here. Look, I don't even know, man. I uploaded it and they shadow banned my account. So then, and they didn't tell me either. So I didn't know anything was wrong. I just went to my main account and I uploaded it there. You know, because that's what I do. When I finish my big projects, I put it up on the main account. And they banned both of them, like while I was uploading it. I don't get it because I'm not using any copyright code or anything. There's nothing in here which is like illegal or license or, you know, nothing. I'm guessing it's got to be a mistake. But anyway, like I said, once you've got personas created, you can assign multiple personas. So have we got like an example of that? So we've got persona memory management, so you can add memories, search memories. It's got a knowledge graph, because it is a full vector database with knowledge graph integrated with LangGraph. And my persona system. So then you've got a system prompt for each persona as well. See, the real trick is actually that you can create a persona whose job it is to create more personas. So say imagine he's like an HR agent who can just create agents, you know, for whatever purpose needs, you know what I mean? So instead of like writing, so say I need 10 developers to break up this task into 10 pieces and do each piece and put it together for me. He could literally on the fly create 10 agents, then assign them to a multi-persona workflow with the prompt to break it up and then put it back, you know, and then it'll end up going super fast. Anyway, I'm not trying to go crazy. There's so much stuff this can do, and it might have some problems, but I've given away like the full source, and I've tested it as working to the best of, you know, what can you do, you know? And then, like I said, I was like, I can't explain this easily, so I'll just make a little e-learning site that explains it all. So is this multi-step reasoning? Yeah. So it actually takes longer because it actually will do multi-step reasoning. It gives examples. You know, it's like a workbook. You can go through it and do loads of stuff, just get experience with how it works, and then you'll understand it. The human approval workflow is a lot of this sort of risk stuff, where maybe it shouldn't just be giving its best answer. So this is kind of nice, but I wasn't really. It was a feature that was already part of the LangGraph system, so I wanted to include it, but it's not really one of my goals. Cross-persona coordination. This was the big goal for me, because version 1 was just vector database, so it knew the what. And then in version 2, I introduced a hybrid vector graph. So now I had a knowledge graph which allowed it to understand the relationships. So the who, the who, the when, and maybe the why. Who? Yeah. Anyway, relationships. So, and then, like I said, but then the knowledge, the lang graph is from the LangChain team. And essentially it allows all kinds of stuff, so you can start building out. See, I'm wondering if actually there might be a way to turn this into like a front end with like a comfy UI style node interface where you can like load persona, set task, but it might be, it's weird. I think it's within reach, but at the same time it might be too primitive for what we need to do, because I'm at the point of designing a agentic village or a city of experts, or even a nation of experts, because if you have enough GPUs and enough, you can actually like split it down into groups of groups, like a proper team structure, and you can have nations of experts working in parallel on small bits of the job. It can do that, but I don't know what's realistically in the scope of what I can do. We'll set this up in a minute and see what we can. So what does it say? I want to create a mobile app for elderly users to manage medications, including reminders and tracking. I need help with technical development approach and user experience design for accessibility. Use cross-persona coordination workflow to give me comprehensive guidance from multiple experts. So it's going to create, it says, needs technical expertise for mobile app development, needs UX expertise for elderly users and accessibility. So send a message, and then this is the expert. This is the expert collaboration right here. So it says it's going to build a team, helpful assistant for coordination, technical expert, mobile development, UX designer for elderly accessibility, and then the helpful assistant for integration. So you've got primary, technical, design, synthesis. And so here they are. They hand off to each other. Remember how we've been doing all these plans lately where we like hand off from one team to the next? It's the same thing. So, but it's just being done in a workflow. So we don't have to go take this from here and then put this there. It can all be just programmed as a thing and have a bunch of pre-trained agents with personas, and then you can even have memory, so they'll remember, oh yeah, this is what I do, and they'll get experienced and they'll get better at it, which is nice. I think there's actually a page missing from this guide. Workflow execution. Okay, so we're getting into this. Is this the developer stuff? No. Zero vector conversation. Use list active workflows. Look, so you can have multiple workflows running at once as well. You see what I mean? So it's like there's a lot of things that it's trying to do that it improves over your basic chat. Develop a character art for my novel's protagonist. Workflow, zero vector conversation. Create a 90-day plan to improve my public speaking. Workflow, multi-step reasoning. Should our business expand online sales? Workflow, human approval. Help me structure a research paper on sustainable urban planning. Workflow, multi-step reasoning. So it's like natural language programming allows you access to all of these different workflows. There is actually a full developer's guide to there's a full developer's guide to setting up new workflows that don't already exist in here, but we've given enough that I think it's got as an example to build on. And then also this is all built on API. So like the whole thing, this is all built on API. So like the whole thing can actually be developed into other apps. It can sit in the background and you can do API calls to this system and you can have like a front end. I'm probably going to end up doing some kind of Electron front end for this. I'm not sure. We'll see. Because we have got like the Aura, which was for text generation, so I was thinking I might repurpose that. Recently I've been working on a whole bunch of educational websites, and I'm getting very, very quick at it, guys. I'm getting very quick at it. Like, this one didn't even take long to build, and there's a lot here. So I've kind of like come up with a workflow. Do you know what? We're going to remote into my other machine. This will be fun. Alright, get ready, everybody brace yourselves. Okay, we're going in. So my laptop, brace yourselves. My laptop might be problematic. I'm sure it's fine. I think not letting me in. Oh no, wait, here it is. So I left him doing something, which was kind of cool. So I thought, let's mention that. Okay, wake up. So where to start? Alright. So right here, I have Figma. This is Figma Desktop. Okay? And Figma Desktop right now has a website front end, which was generated with a prompt. You can use prompts and generate a website front end. But the point is, this is all elements that you can like click and drag and move around and stuff, you know what I mean? So this could have been a full-on Figma prototype. Do you understand? And what happens... It took me ages to find it. Is it there? Development. Oh, we're getting close. I can feel it. There it is. You have to enable dev mode MCP server. So we're using the Figma desktop on Windows, and it's using Code Connect with dev mode MCP. And what it does is it'll turn a Figma prototype into working code with whatever agent you've got attached. So in this case, I've got it attached to Sonic 4. Right? And basically, if you see here, this is the template which was created. Okay, and then if I come over here, this is that website again in all of its glory. Right? Just zoomed in a bit, so it's like a little educational mini site, you see. So what I've said, okay, cool, we can make mini sites, but can we actually control right down to everything what they look like? You see what I mean? So if I just put a quick reminder, that is what it looked like there. That is what it looks like here. And the basic idea was, let's see, is it finished? Yeah, it's finished. Cool. So what I did was I told it, let's just read the prompt. We can adapt the website content in web. So I've already, think about it, I've got lesson content, which I have already turned into Markdown. So I've got a bunch of lessons which I want to teach people. Through working with LLMs, we've created a lesson plan for a bunch of things we want to teach. Those are in individual Markdown documents for each lesson. So I've got like 6 lessons in a course, okay? Say that. And then I've said, okay, now we're going to make it into a website. So we make it into a website. Now it's a website. Cool. And what I've done here is I've said, okay, we're going to open up Figma Desktop because everybody uses Figma, okay? Everybody uses Figma. So if you have a design team, they probably built it in Figma. So then what we do is we use the MCP Okay, there's an MCP. So I've set that up. If you go into my thing, go into my install, Figma Dev Mode MCP. Okay, it's brand new. It's brand new. It's hot off the press. I don't even know how old it is, but that's what I'm doing. And so basically what we do then is we've got this MCP. Now it's a read only. It only reads the project. So we're going to turn this into, because you have to select a thing, and then you say like, oh, with my selected element, give me the code to the selected frame or something like that. Okay. In fact, let's just have a look at the actual code. So let me read what I actually told it to do first. We can adapt the website content in web. So that's a website built from the lesson plans using tutorhub website.html. Now, tutorhub website.html is the thing that the MCP exported. So we had the MCP export the prototype from Figma into code. And now what I'm going to do, now this is the bit, I don't even know if it works. This is the fun part. So blend the elements from each while preserving the template design, recreating the original website content for each page using the approved tutorhub design. So I'm pretending that a design team has sent me a template on Figma, which is pretty standard. And I've already made the website, which all the content is good. Maybe someone sent me the lesson plans. You don't have to write them, so maybe someone sent them to you. Anyway, this will showcase Figma MCP by creating the educational mini site using a template built by extraction using the Figma MCP, which was generated by the in-app Figma design prompt AI tool. Get your head around that. That's like some kind of subdog meme. But yeah, so let's take a look at it, right? We got a folder here. Okay, so there's the tutorhub website, which we already looked at. And there is the web, that's the normal website. So if we just take a quick look, this is the website I generated as the educational mini site. So it'll teach you how to use the Figma MCP and all about how to prompt it best and, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, so it's a prompt guide for using MCP with Figma Desktop. That's what it basically is. And it's a full course. But I was thinking, well, what if they don't want it to look like this? What if they wanted it to look like their thing, which was, you know, and let's see. So now what we'll do is we'll go to Figma Web and we'll take a look at this one. Hey, 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 look what we've got. It's exactly what I wanted. So this is a combination of, look, it's the tutorial that the client wants, with all the information and the layout from my normal technique. You see, it's the same, but different. Okay, we've got some issues, but you know, for one shot, I think this is pretty good. Let's see if we've got all the lessons. There's 5 lessons on this. I need to create code for my current Figma selection. So you literally click something in Figma and go, I need to create the code, and it does it. It's pretty cool. It doesn't go back the other way yet, though. It did ask me to do it, and I didn't. So yeah, basically this is what we're doing, and then it's like, oh, use MCP tools. Wait, what? Get code, get variable def. Now the thing about the variables, when I looked at the plugins, I couldn't actually find a variables plugin. So I don't know if you have to be like at a higher tier than what I'm at, because I was able to test that this works, but I wasn't able to use the variables to import code back in. But the thing is, it's not for that. It's for taking a design from Figma and turning it into working code with AI. That's what it's for. And then what I've just shown is you can then mutate a previous website into the new template style, and now you're delivering the product that the customer asked for in the style that they asked for, but with the content that may have been given to you from somebody else. So if you just take a quick look at the project again, in notes we have the lessons. These are what were turned into the website. So then we made the website from the lessons, and then we converted the website into this website using the template. And the idea is that this is totally self-contained. So we actually, it's funny, to make the website to teach you how to use the MCP, we used the MCP to extract a generated web design from Figma and then turned our educational website into that. So it's like eating its own tail, this one, for fun. So like I said, we had a lot of fun building this one. I'd love to tell you, here's the GitHub and you can download it, but they got super paranoid and shadow banned me and won't tell me why. I don't know why. I don't know. So ultimately what we're going to do is take this down. And like I said, I wanted to, be like, oh, look at this, we can do the Figma, this is cool, and it is, but I can't share it. So this is why I'm having to basically build a new platform, slowly but surely. But yeah, as you can see, this will be Figma tutorial, we never even knew her. Which is a shame because it worked perfectly. But yeah, I'll get back to that. So, so anyway, what can you do, eh? So yeah, like I said, all my stuff's still there. So it must be like we've been flagged. We've been flagged. Let's see. Welcome Dragon, welcome Kurt Curtis. Glad you can make it, guys. Hello, Pont of Eagle. What's that? We got extremely good lip sync now. It's in WAN. It's called Multi-Talk and it's on a different branch, but it will be in Kijai's main branch soon. Cool. I'll keep an eye out for that. I'll have to update all my WAN stuff. Yeah, WAN seems to be the move, to be honest, right? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, let's see if we can install this MCP and show its beauty. I've got other things I'm working on, but it's sort of like, this has put a bit of a, it's basically means I got to reprioritize other things. Like I've ordered a new server and a new web domain. It's all happening. It's just that, it's just a pain. It's just a pain. For all the repos to go down on both accounts at once. Oof. But I think it's just an indication I'm still going in the right direction. So, where were we? We need to grab that old readme from beta. I need that read. I need that. It had a much better install procedure, which is like, there you go, look at all that detail. That's what you want. So yeah, we're going to do this. npm install. I'll probably just copy my configs across because it's probably easier actually. Let's see. Server 3. Yeah, you gotta love it when, see what I mean? There's nothing there, but it's like, dude, just because I copied it in there doesn't mean open it. Trying to dox my ENVs. Every time. I'm just copying the ENVs across because I thought it's probably going to be, well, I might need to generate a new database key, but that's okay. Alright. And we continue. Yeah, I'll have to check out that new lip sync's always a good idea. Generate the key for the server, first server, the vector store. Alpha, no, it's Echo actually. 3 Echo. 1,000 rate limit, 1 year, say yes. Copy that. I'd like to put it in a text file called API.text because we don't need to copy this from production. Create the EMP. We've already done that. And this one doesn't need an API for itself. It just needed the OpenAI key for the embedding. And start it. Hopefully it doesn't crash. All green? Okay. Next. Server. Now this path is one. Because we start there. It's missing a step as well. There's a step to set up a database. So this is nice. The documentation is trash. The AI rewrote it and removed steps. Gotta love it. Once we're inside here, we do npm install. Like if you know what it is doing, it's not really that confusing, but it's a little, you know, if you've never done it, it's a bit unfair. It's like if you know what you're doing, it's like I change it completely every time I bring out a new release. There's a bunch of extra stuff now. So yeah, there's another step here which is missing, and it's actually here, Postgres, SQL. All of this stuff is cool. It's cool. You can type all that stuff. But actually, there's a secret. Well, it's not secret, but there's another thing you can type. Not set up infrastructure. Set up Postgre. And if we do that. Diabolical. See, this would be fine if I hadn't been messing around. Like information for days, but I don't know if it's for humans. Start. It's like the thing I was reading earlier has changed. It does that sometimes. On the laptop. Close that. No. Missing. There should be a setup, an additional step missing. Beautiful. Shouldn't be in the install though. Yeah, it should be. Just read it. To that. Yeah, there's a special one for. I'm sure there was a special one. like set up Postgres. I think it might have been that. Do you know what? I'm just going to try it. npm run setup. Because if I don't spell it right, Postgres. I was right. I remember that right. I spent ages trying to find it because I wanted to get the spelling correct, but in the end I just knew it. Trust my guts. Postgres. Or Postgres. Yeah, so we need to put our password in. Now I just use password 123 and bless it, it's trying to hide my password with stars and failing. We're just going to use password 123, but you should probably consider something more secure than that. But for the purpose of the demo, and it's running locally on my machine and not online, I think it's fine. And it says here the Dragon Diffusion stating there is a new WAN thing as well. I'm downloading it. It does most of the Miramax stuff. Do you mean Minimax? Because Miramax is like a movie company. Anyway, so you know, deleting people out of videos and stuff. I think it is better outpainting, but subject to testing. Oh, that is cool though, because I know there's a guy that's looking for a solution to something like that. Right. Obviously, there's probably many. So yeah, we've done it. And like I said, what this does nicely is it updates the env file with all of these credentials for you, so you don't have to mess around. Nice. So anyway, we're now going to do the run setup infrastructure. So this setup looks long, but at the end of it, what you have is you have two folders which you run npm start, and that's it. So it looks like a lot to set up at first, but once it's done, you've literally got npm start in two places, because the MCP server will start with your client. You don't, after it's installed, you don't need to install this, run it manually. I mean, you can, but you don't have to. So yeah, we've completed the setup. If there were any errors, they would be shown in red here, so you can just scan it and see it's all green. npm start. Cool. Dragon Diffusion says the Chinese video model. Yeah, I think that's Minimax or Minmax. But who knows what they call it. Point of Google says it's 1.3 model, 1.3 billion. I'll wait for the 14. Yeah, they do that a lot, don't they? They bring out the 1.3 bill because it's easier to train to see if people like it, and then if it is worth it, they'll train the full 14. It looks like that's the standard now. Okay, so this is now ready. So we can open up another tab, another console, and now we're going to actually do the MCP. So cd MCP, npm install. Okay. Alright. Now it's installed. We want to do the env. That's going to give us in our MCP folder a new env, which we'll need to put our API key we generated earlier inside of it. Just here. Like so. Now you will need to also put that in the 0 vector 3. But where? It's below something I don't want to show you. It's below a real key, so give us a sec. API, yeah. It was close to it. Bloody thing. And we're back. Save. So there's my key from the API which we generated, so you have to put it into server 3 and the MCP, so they can both talk to server 1, because there are technically two servers that talk to each other, plus you giving it orders. Your OpenAI key is just below here, basically. rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Save this readme and npm start. Should see an MCP start up with no crashes. Good. So that means it's working. So let's do a quick curl. So we're going to open another one and we're going to do a curl to check the health first of the database, the vector store, and then we'll do another curl to check the land graph. And the land graph is up, up, up. That's good. That's good. So now we will go into the MCP itself and do npm run test connection, and it should give us something that looks like a tool response. So that's telling us we've done it. She's ready to go. So we can close it out. What the heck is this? I just need to check this. Like, is there something in here that I don't already have? What's this thing? This has got v3. This talks about the v3. New multi-agent. So what's the deal? What's this? What's this? Because the install instructions were scuffed. So land graph, workflow management, 6 new tools. Land graph. Oh, I see. So it's kind of like. Alright. 24 tools. Yeah, but how many of them are? This one doesn't actually. Because the workflow stuff was quite complicated to pull off. The workflow stuff was quite complicated. In the end, it's easy to use, but like, you know, you just say, I want vector 0, you know. Yeah, look, see. Because you wouldn't put it in like this. See, it constantly tries to give you examples for JSON, and it's like, that's cool if you're a developer, but humans don't speak JSON. And so this is what I've used the MCP for. He takes what you want and turns it into this, and then it submits it to a very complex set of API calls. But yeah, so I think what I'd probably best do is take the installation, the installation stuff. Yeah, take all of this bit, and put that in the new one, because I think this is actually more up to date. It is actually more up to date. It just seems to be missing a lot. Because look, it's like, oh, prerequisites, have 2/3 of it already installed. That's cheeky. Oh, what's this? Set environment variables in ENV. Yeah, it's kind of telling me what to do. Okay, so so that's stupid. Let's do something oh boy, something like that. Test connection. That's the test connection to both servers. All right, we got more stuff to do. Right, okay, cool. Oh wow, look at all that. What the heck? Why so many? Server info, server URL. Loads of them. I think it must have glitched out or something. Oh wait, we need to go to the other thing. CD space CD dot and it's going to be 0 server. Oh, she didn't like it. There we go. Oof. See, does that even work? Test connection to both servers. What are we testing here? This is great. Is it the MCP still? This is testing the server. See, I gotta like go through and test this stuff. CD0 vector. Yep. Let's try here. Nope. Oh, that's annoying. That means I was in the right folder in the first place. Alright. Okay, so yeah, it is part of the MCP testing. Yeah, okay. So it's like worded differently, but it means the same thing. So I reckon I can just... there. No, not the whole thing. Why did it get rid of both of them? Just go to there. There we go. Right, what tools have we got? Oh boy. Okay. Knowledge graph, hybrid memory search, execute workflow, status of completed or running workflow, resume workflow because human approval or error, cancel workflow, list active, and that's it. There's no way to list what types of workflows there are there. This is why it's like kind of mysterious, you know. It's like there's no easy way to intuitively know what you can do, and that's why I ended up making this sort of the mini site. Let's see if we can get it. We've got it open now. It's all working. So let's do a bit of. Work. Right. Your first workflow. So in the chat box, I'd like to use thing. Oh yeah, of course, we need to complete the installation before we get carried away. So if I go to the MCP section, what I need to do is I need to make sure that the MCP, SRC, index.js, it's this full path which needs to go into the MCP servers. Install. So we're going to configure. Here it is. So all I got to do is just make sure that that is the correct path. Looking at it, I think all I have to actually do is change this to echo in my case, but obviously you use the full path to your wherever you installed it. It's double slashes for Windows users, and then also you see here that's the last place you need to put API key. So again, I go back to my API key text, grab that and shove it in there. Alright, and that is done. Now, you'd think, oh yeah, great, we've installed it, but actually there's something else we've got to do. We've got to restart this. So I think what I'm going to do before I do anything is just close it. Just close it. Let's open it back up. And we will have to restart all of these, or not all of them, just the two. Just ditch them all. Sometimes I get caching and stuff, so Start again. So cd 0 /s start. And I would have a script do this part for me. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just starting 2 servers in folders. But yeah, we can see what's going on with them as well if we have them open in VS Code. But you don't even need them open in VS Code if you have them open anywhere on the machine. 0 vector 3. Whoop. She's not happy. PM start. That's all good. Right, so then I'm not going to open the MCP this time around because we should have it now. Model context protocol. Servers, tree, main, git. 0 vector. Retry. Uh-oh. Oof. What have I what? She's not happy. What's happened here? Module not found. Tools. Index.js. Maybe the path is actually different. Okay, that's my bad. I was trying to be... I swear the path is, what is it, tools, 0 vector 3, echo. Wait, what? It's there, you know. Ah. Okay, just change that. Just change that. Don't be slashing about. Obviously I changed more than I thought. Okay, cool. Refresh. We're back in business. Hopefully it's working. So let's just check that it is working. So that would be, let's just do the... let's just do that one. There we go. It's running. And then curl from anywhere. It's running. Okay, I'm happy. Everyone should be. So we've satisfied it's actually running now. So what do we want to do? We want to do the first workflow, asking about cats. Oh, there was like a copy button. There we go. Let's see what it does. See, I don't even have any personas yet, so I don't know how you're going to do that. You don't have any personas, because it's a brand new install, there's nothing in there yet. Yeah. He's going to go in there and be like, we haven't got any, you've got to create one. Okay, so maybe getting ahead of myself, I think maybe the lessons should be create custom persona should come first, maybe. So let's do study buddy. So please create a custom persona named study buddy using create persona tool. Here's the configuration: name, description, system prompt, temperature, max tokens, embedding provider, and memory size. So there we go. It's all been converted. Right. Study buddy. Because the thing is, he can infer, just like we can generate a pretty good picture of a cat from the word cat, you can generate a pretty good programming for an agent from the word study buddy. So, and what I'm trying to, the area of research I want to move into is going from mixture of experts to village of experts, and then city of experts, and then nation of experts. So like NOE. You can scale it all the way, and you do it by having a persona who's able to create more personas dynamically as he needs to do whatever the task is. And then if it's a difficult task, to assign more personas to that task. You see what I'm saying? And you can't do it without a system like this, because it needs to keep it all in its own managed context. And I think if you're going to put that much effort, you need to sometimes like retain some memory. So he's asking me to create the study buddy. Let's go ahead. Say created successfully. So now we have study buddy in the system, which is exactly what I was looking for. So now we're going to test him. You say, hi study buddy, I'm learning about photosynthesis in biology class, but I'm having trouble understanding how plants make their own food. Can you explain it in a way that's easy to understand? So let's test our persona. And you can see I'm just naming him with natural language. There's no tricks, there's no JSON. All of that stuff's for developers who want to build apps. So here we go, he's figured out we created the study buddy persona, wants to interact, understanding photosynthesis, off we go. I can name myself as well. There's a user ID now, so you can identify yourself and have other identities as the user as well, which is interesting. It's all kinds of stuff. So here we go, execute workflow. I'm study buddy, and this is a zero vector conversation. That means it's going to keep going. Failed. What happened? What happened? Why it failed though? Why it failed though? Add conversation. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can go right ahead. I wonder what happened with the workflow. It didn't work. Now I want a fitness coach persona. Please create my fitness coach, because I need personas. I haven't got any. So we go ahead and add our fitness coach persona. Get approve, auto approve. I'm going to start auto approving because it doesn't matter. It's not going to affect. It's so lightweight, it doesn't matter. You could have people like, oh man, I got 2 agents. You can have hundreds of them. Yeah, there it is. It went so quick I didn't notice. Alright, cool. So now we're not going to plan, just straight act mode. Hi fitness coach. I'm a beginner who wants to start exercising. Help. Add conversation. So again, it's in the memory. That's the whole point, Look, fitness level complete beginner. Lifestyle, sedentary desk job, goals, start exercising, experience years without exercise. Yeah, okay. Do you have any injuries? Safety is my #1 priority. Here's my desk escape routine. Pretty good. Wall push-ups, chair-assisted squats, standing desk stretches, and the plank hold. Interesting. Marching in place while watching TV. That's actually genuinely good advice. you know, and anything to get you moving. So we get a persona ID for this, we get a conversation ID, and then the conversation is saved with our fitness persona. Right? Okay, so now I want a writing mentor. This is like all things and more, which we've been working on for ages. And it's all, I could just change this to Gemini right now if I wanted. It doesn't affect this side of things. So it's like a separation. So you're not tied to a single platform, you can just API. Currently in plan mode, blah blah blah, yeah. I should have just gone straight to act. It's good enough that it'll just pick it up. Off he goes. I'll get ready with step 2. Sarah went to the store. She needed to buy milk. It was raining outside. This is boring. Make it more better. Straight act. Hi, writing mentor. I wrote this opening paragraph. Let's do it. Add conversation to the correct persona. He's still figuring it out. Boom. And then we've got our response. And it's been saved. So it's going to take me through it. Brilliant. Yeah, that's really good. Sensory details, add emotional stakes, create atmosphere. And it saved it. The rain drummed against Sarah's kitchen window as she stared at the empty milk carton in her hand. Sound effects. Sarah cursed under her breath. Of all the times to run out of milk, 30 minutes before her mother-in-law arrived for coffee. Dramatic strings. I think you get the point. So yeah, like I said, this works nicely. So let's just review and check out what personas that we actually have at our disposal now. Make sure he remembers. Use list personas and show me all the custom personas with the basic information. We have study buddy, we have fitness coach, we have writing mentor. Now, you might be thinking, and you'd be right, but isn't Claude smart enough to just remember all this stuff? Yes, so let's quit the convo, act mode only, no planning, and see what he says. Because yes, he can cheat. So new chat, hopefully there's no caching incline that he can also use to cheat. There we go, look at this, we've got writing mentor, fitness coach, and study buddy, all active. Then he's going to say, get persona to show me detailed persona about study buddy, including recent memories. Including recent memories. Approve. But yes, so here we have it. He's going to show me the most recent memories. No recent memories. Oh, okay. So it hasn't remembered anything yet. Okay. And then we're going to update the persona, study buddy, make it more creative by changing the temperature to 0.8. Because that's the other thing. The overseer agent is actually able to edit the personas of all the agents underneath in his control. So, you know, if he wants to make them more or less creative on the fly, he can. I'm putting a lot of trust in these agents, though, because when you think about it, it's like, yeah, we're going to make an agent that can create new agents and rewrite them as he needs. It's an interesting experiment, I'll say that much. Works really well. Persona memory management. So we've already list personas and memory counts. Okay, that's a good one actually, because we could see which one has memories, which one actually has memories. It should be a couple because I think conversations are separate from memories. I'm not quite sure. Let's just check. Because obviously there's a graph. Go on then. Go on then. So off you go. So what do we got? Doesn't really show memory information. Okay, include. Okay, so we got 6 memories and 3 personas. So I wonder which one. Unknown. Got 2 unknown memory types in there. 2 in there. And how many in the last one? 2 in there. That's 6. Right. Okay. They've all got 2 each. 2 unknown memory types. A little bit worried about why they're unknown. Alright. So yeah, get persona, approve. It shows me his system prompt. Here's the detailed information. Just waiting for the memories. No recent memories. It says he has 2 memories, but they're not being showed in detail. He got a classifier as unknown. I'm like flagging this for like further development. Like, something maybe has a capital C when it should have an underscore. You know what I mean? But let's just keep going. So we're going to add some memories now to Study Buddy, and then hopefully, if we give him some memories, he'll actually have something we can recall. So we do that by saying, please use add memory tool to add this fact to Study Buddy. Content: currently preparing for final exams in chemistry and biology, with chemistry being the more challenging subject. Type: fact, importance 0.9. So you can grade and categorize the memories, but it should be able to do that by itself to a certain degree. Adding context. Background context. Please use the add memory tool to add context. Studies best in the evening after 6. Has 2 hours for study on weekdays. Keep it moving. And then there. Hi Study Buddy, I need help understanding chemical bonds. Can you explain it in a way that works for my learning style? And we've added that memory as well. So now we have a bunch of stuff about my preferences. Let's run it. And what do we get? Let's see. Can you do it? If you can't do it, there's a bigger problem. This MCP server update. Something crashed. Something. I think there's a problem. I think there's a problem. A problem with the workflows. So we've got a bunch of memories. Yeah. He's remembered all the things that they're in the rag store. Okay, add conversation. It's diabolical. Ionic bonds, opposites attract. Sharing is caring. Oh, okay, he's giving me the lesson plan. That's cool, but and then the conversation happens. I'm not convinced. Like, he did it. He did do it. But he didn't. He did it. He kind of fell back. You know, that's like a fallback because. The actual workflow failed. would like to have some insight into that, because I could just keep going through these, but if the workflows don't work, then there's a lot of stuff that isn't going to work. Cool, but, you know. Did I just find bugs? Again? Oh. Oh. Huh. We are, I don't know. We've got a bad config. MCP is using server v3 at 01, but the env only has v2. So we're missing v3 base URL and the v3 API key. Yeah, well, I would say just do step 2. Do step 2 only. I just need that. No. Just, in fact, just do this piece. Yeah. Just do, and then report to me. Because I don't need him to do all this other stuff. The env is wrong. It's about right. Yeah. How about you fix it, actually? Yeah, good idea. So yeah, we'll get him right on it. He'll dox my keys. Happy days. It's alright, they're just internally generated. They're nothing special. Good. To fully resolve this, start the v3 server. Okay. All right. And then do it again. Man, I'm going to find my prompt eventually. There it is. Copy. Yeah, the server, the MCP is fine. It was just that server which has been restarted. So we'll just go back mode and go. Alright. Yep, execute workflow. Let's see if it works now. Still failed. Oi! I'm going to say stop. We are testing the MCP workflow. Execute workflow. Execute workflow. Which is failing. We can investigate. We love the way you can investigate. It is failing. It is failing. He ran it from the wrong folder. That's that. Oh, it's listening. Yeah, it's listening. Yeah, the servers are up. Cool. He's just doing a self-test. It says it's not running. It is. It It is, you big liar, he is. He's running. Oh boy. Error executing line graph. Yeah, it's not good. The server was up. Well, it is. Yeah, the server is up. Alright. So, how about kill this? Yep. And delete the. Yeah, we don't need this one. We need that one up because that's the main back end. Giving warnings and stuff, so he's not happy. I love how it keeps. The agent keeps calling itself Zero Vector MCP Clean 2.0. It never like changed its own name. Don't know why. It's fun, vibe code stuff. Go to Act. Let him have his fun. Because I'm trying to get to the the mixture of expert stuff, but if this basic workflow doesn't work, chances are the next one won't work either. This all started because I wanted to talk to Bob. I hope you guys remember. I was like, I want to talk to Bob. And I want him to remember that we talked, you know? And then I want Bob to just pick any brain he wants from the so many on the shelf. You know, there's like 300 different models on the shelf. It makes sense to be able to make the brain modular, but keep the memories and the name and the character. Because that's all my bit. It's running. It is running. Try and use the zero vector conversation and fail. Crushing failure. The error shows risk thresholds is required but undefined. Let me check human approval agent. I didn't even think that was the same workflow. Okay. Human in the loop. It's not asking me about that. So anyway, I've been trying to get to this lesson here, which is writing educational content requires subject matter research and engaging storytelling. Creating accessible features needs to be both technical implementation and usability expertise. So you need a technical expert, a UX designer, a research analyst, a creative writer, and a helpful assistant. So this is the Revenge of the Clones, right? So I have all these clones and they're like Discord bots, but they could be better. They could all have Sonnet 4 brains and they could all have unique personalities tailored to their role, which is essentially like what HR does. The difference is we can just like, I don't like to use the word mint because it's like a crypto thing, but if like a coin, you like mint a coin and put it into the bank and then you end up with all these different coins in the bank. And they're all personas, they're all individual AIs with memories and experiences. This is what I'm aiming for. It's like one step at a time. Cross-persona coordination takes longer. You will see handoffs. They will pass work to each other. A lot of the stuff I've been doing lately has been write this document as a handoff and give it to the node team. So I've tested all of the bits separately as one bit. And now we're like telling the agent to do all of that and do it all amongst themselves. Like let your people talk to their people and then they can find some more people and like the example for this one. Okay, so what was the deal? What was the deal? It says added this configuration fallback. Risk threshold is undefined. The thing is, I don't think we need that. Since the basic persona tools, list persona, get persona, add memories working perfectly, you can continue to use those for persona interactions while workflow systems being refined. What? Okay, it's identified issues. Yeah, so it looks like I've still got some work to do on this project, but you know, that's half the fun. What the hell, man? This is Zod error. We have a Zod error when executing a workflow. Workflow. We can investigate. But yeah, in case you missed the start of the show, my GitHubs are down. I think GitHub flagged me for suspicious activity, but all I was doing was uploading another vibe code thing. So hopefully they reinstate my 170 repositories. RIP, man. So yeah, like I said, like this is why I'm like slowly putting together a new platform with a new domain name, just so I can host my own stuff, because too many times have I been rugged by some platform with a crazy moderator, too many times, so I'm not risking it again. That's why I have my own website. That's why I recommend it to everybody, because even GitHub can just rug pull you out of nowhere with no explanation, because that's the thing, a lot of people were forking or downstream of my repos, because I had so many of them. There's like 1,000 workflows in my Git Comfy workflows repo. There's like 120 nodes in my DJZ nodes alone, and so it's sort of like I'm hoping that it's going to come back online. But if you go to my GitHub trying to find stuff and it's not there, they didn't even tell me nothing. And in fact, if I log into my account, you can't even tell that anything is wrong. So like, if no one had told me, I wouldn't even know. Which is why I'm calling it a shadow ban, because look, like there's nothing to tell me, there's no message, no notifications. The only reason I found out is because I had to change my password, and then I had to re-authenticate my VS Code with GitHub, and then it was like, your restricted accounts can't do git clone. I'm like, what? Yeah, restricted accounts can't do git clone. I'm like, what are you talking about, restricted accounts? So then I logged into my GitHub with a different email address, and I noticed it's 404. So like literally the entire GitHub went down as I was uploading this repo. And then when I went to my alternate, I've got a company GitHub, I went there and I uploaded the same project there, and they immediately locked that down too, like while I was in the middle of uploading it. And you could say, oh well, why did you go? But the thing is, they never told me like you're banned or stop doing what you're doing. They never told me that. And what I use the other, when I finish a long project like this one, the last thing I do is I put it on the company as like a portfolio thing. So now I've lost not only my like main development account with all of my open source stuff that I've given away over the last 2 years, I've also got my company account has gone too. And literally I've had no response, no emails, nothing. Just like, so you're just like, next time somebody tells you just use GitHub, bro, I don't know. Like I said, I used to say the same thing. I used to be like, yeah man, GitHub, yeah, cool. But now I'm starting to see there's another side to GitHub where basically, if it works, it's great, but if something goes wrong, you're boned, because there's no one to talk to, there's no support. You send a message, they don't respond. You know, they've probably got a bot running the Twitter. I doubt there's anyone there. So it's sort of like, you know, like, so like, if I'd done something wrong, like upload a virus, or if I'd done something wrong, I don't know what, but whatever, I'd be like, fair enough, this repo's a problem, take it down, slap on the wrist, my bad. But there was nothing. All it was, it said, we've noticed suspicious activity on your account. Make sure you change the password. So I changed the password, I did the password, I did the two-factor, I did the authenticate. So it's like, you know, yeah, bullshit. It's got nothing to do with suspicious activity because they know it's me. Tooten Wessie is coming in. Sire V2 saw a grant for a decentralized GitLab. Looks interesting. All on Sire. Well, I'm sitting in a point where, literally, dude, look, this is the current state, right? I'm on GitHub. GitHub Mushroom Fleet, that's me. Cool, right? Now let's take a look at it from somebody else's account. That's a shadow ban. Why is GitHub shadow banning people? Like, I haven't broken any rules. All I did was upload the latest zero vector. This. I uploaded this. You know? I uploaded my latest version of zero vector and my account got absolutely nuked. They just went shadow ban. And like I said, if I go to Scuffed as well, this is how I know, because if it was just my account, fair enough, maybe I got flagged, maybe some weird AI IP scans like, oh, we don't like, you look suspicious. But when I went to use my other GitHub, that one's done as well. So, you know, I can get into my account, so there's no problem with the account. If it's just literally shadow banned. So I don't know. No messages, no emails. You know? No messages, no emails, no notifications, nothing. Like, if I hadn't checked, like, you know what I mean? If somebody hadn't DM'd me and said, why are all your GitHubs suddenly down? I wouldn't have even known. I wouldn't have even known, because there's nothing in the account to actually tell me that it's fried. Nothing. You'd think you'd have like a red line saying your account's restricted or something, or like a message somewhere saying, oh, we've restricted your account because something. Nothing. I changed my password like they asked me to. Like I said, I wouldn't even know. So it's shady, and you know, it being the weekend, I'll just let them take their time, right? That's fine. It's the weekend, whatever, right? Another job that's going to get just destroyed by AI. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so it's annoying. But there's not really much more you can do. So what I'll be doing is I'll be putting the repo. Look, it was a 700 kilobyte repo. So it's not like, you know, someone might say, oh yeah, you're one of them AI guys, you're probably hosting too much. You're probably taking up unfair resources. Dude, it's got like 50 downloads and it's less than a megabyte. Just like, this is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. What could actually be dodgy about that? It's a bunch of, do you know what I mean? It's a TypeScript API with JavaScript. It's not flagged for being a virus. Do you know what I mean? So it's just shady, mate. Like, why? So yeah, like, I'm in the account. You can download it. It runs. I don't know. Dodgy, mate. Super dodgy. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep on developing it. I've got a new website domain, and I got a new server, which I'm going to be very happy to be messing around with over this weekend, because I'm going to put freaking AI on the server. It's going to run the website for me. Okay, all of these guys can, with their stupid £5 a month click wizards, they're all going to go bankrupt if they don't get their acts together. What this, honestly. And even if I can't get the GitHub back, guys, I did 170 repos in 6 months. How many do you think I'm going to do in the next 6 months? I'll just put them somewhere else. And to be honest, I've still got all my projects on various machines, so it's just going to be annoying. Do you know what I mean? It's just another thing I got to do. But in a way, I think it's actually a good thing. Have you tried removing the project from GitHub and see if it unbans your account? No, I haven't. But no, I haven't tried it. I'm not going to either, because at this point they're like, because the thing is, there's 170 repos on the account. If like, I don't know it's that one. That could, do you know what I mean? I think it is, because it all happened while I was working on that. But if you're honest, no one really knows, do they? There's 170 repos on one account. It could be any of them. Like, I'm assuming it's the one I was working on today, but that could be entirely coincidental, because I've got nothing. They've said nothing to me, no emails, no freaking notifications in the account, no marks anywhere on any page. It all looks fine, and then you get somebody else to look at it, shadow banned. If AI is watching in real time, it might unban and ban automatically. Well, exactly. I don't know what the deal is. All I know is that, you know, I don't do any dodgy stuff on my accounts. It's all open source education and research. So there is nothing on my account that would go against the rules. The only thing they could have done is thought that my account had been hacked. You see what I mean? But they confirmed that it was me with my IP address that's been on my file, because obviously you know how it is. You have to do authentication with the two-factor. So they know it's me. They know I'm at home. They make me change my password, and I do it and log back in. So it can only be me. So, and then for me to then go to one of my other accounts that's unrelated to that one in a way. Do you know what I mean? So I've got another GitHub, which is a completely different email address, right? I put the final project up there, and they fried that one too. Yeah, it was, if you upload an API key, you get an email. Yeah, well, if they shadow ban your account, you get nothing. It's amazing, dudes. Should we have a look? I don't mind. You can see here, it's all just crap. This would be one of the email addresses. As you can see, there's nothing from GitHub. Going right the way back. Nothing. Let me see if I can get another account, because I don't care. Like I said, I've got nothing to hide. I don't screw around. So here we go. Because it's like my job. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to screw around. But at the same time, I know that I'm powerful enough to just go ahead and rebuild the whole thing from scratch if they want me. If they, you know. Okay, so here we go. We've got a reinstatement. Wait. Have they actually replied? What? No. Okay. This is the only email I have from GitHub on the account. People are telling me my GitHub account's hidden. So here's the original. I tried to send them a message saying that this particular... It's a different repo entirely. Yeah, but what it all started because I was trying to make the website tutorial, like the tutorial website, work with Git pages, right? Yeah, I was trying to make a tutorial website with Git pages, and it wasn't. You know how when you go to do the pages from your GitHub, and it's like, oh, I'm processing. And then it comes up and you can go to GitHub.io and see the website that you've got in the repo, right? So I was doing that like I always do. And the repo was still private at the time. So what I did was I clicked on Git pages, forgetting it was private. And it said, oh, if you want to do that, it's going to be $70, $80 a year. And I was like, what? You want me to get pro? And then I realized it was because it's because I was asking for private mode Git pages, which I don't need. So I put the repo back into public because I'm not working on it anymore. It's ready for release. You know, I typically work on it in private and then put it in public mode. And what I did was I tried to activate the pages deployment before doing the public. And then when I went public, pages still didn't work. So I was like, that's weird. So I created a whole new repo just for the website that explains how to use this new app, right? So we've been looking at that one tonight. That would be this website that teaches you how to use the tool, yeah? And it just wasn't working, so I couldn't even get it to deploy with just a simple index.html in the root of the thing and going pages, root, go. And it was like, no, it's not doing it. So I was like, what? So this was me trying to put in I was trying to put in like a support ticket, because they say contact us, and then they say support ticket, and then the only link you can click on is a reinstatement email. So I'm like, so now I'm on a reinstatement email, and there's no drop-down lists for anything I can do here, right? So anyway, blah, blah, blah. I said, you disabled or removed a piece of content, because the website, the Git pages is not working at all. So I said, there's no options for this. So I've explained everything I just said, right? And I said it didn't work. So I created a new repo from scratch, add the website there to keep it as simple as possible, but it won't deploy. I'm trying to get support, but I'm being flagged because there was a red label at the top of the screen saying you have been flagged, and I'm like, what? Because I asked for help? This is bonkers, yeah. So anyway, there's no replies. It's just me. It's just me talking to echo chamber. You know, it's just me in a empty room, and there is nothing from them except for here. Look at this one here. Look. Here we go. We noticed you had a suspicious login. Me. I was logging in to my own account, like always, from the same location and IP. We decided to do a password reset. So we did the password reset. It's still me in charge of the account. And then like, oh, we don't think this is a vulnerability on GitHub's behalf, but we've seen account takeovers and info stealer malware. Yeah, bullshit. There's no info stealer malware. I've got two-factor authentication with Google Authenticator. No one's stolen. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, bottom line, load of bollocks. So they've not told me really, like telling me, oh, we're suspicious and we'll reset your password. I've done it. So what's the problem? You know? And they've not responded. So yeah, basically shadow ban. So I mean, I don't know. I want to hope that this is like a mistake. Do you know what I mean? But that's what I thought when what was the name of that site? That's what I thought when Imgur deleted my account. I've had this happen before, guys. You get rogue moderators that make weird decisions. I'm hoping it's a rogue AI, because then a human will look at it and go, huh? And just put it back online. But I have had it happen before where it's been a rogue moderator and this was a targeted thing and it ain't coming back. So in the meantime, I'm going to work on my own fallback, which is going to be the lovely new website. We'll be announcing it soon. You already know the name. It's been in the comments. I've been like seeding it. I did see in the mail they updated your ticket 5 hours ago. Yeah, I think actually that was me updating my ticket by adding something to it. Do you know what I mean? So I did my original, and then I came back and said, oh, people are telling me that like my whole GitHub is down now, so I think you've shadow banned me for some reason. And then the third message is me going, yeah, you shadow banned my other account as well for no good reason. Like, what's going on? It's like, do you know what I mean? They've literally targeted me. So I'd love to know what the excuse is. Or, because like I said, Imgur, they had me down as like an AI artist, and they did like a piece on me on their Facebook, and then invited me into some private group full of artists. And within a couple of days, my entire account had been deleted mysteriously. And when I asked them about it, they were like, we'll look right into that. Never heard from them again. So, you know, I would expect more from GitHub than Imgur, just being real. But at the same time, I'm not about to slow down just because someone set fire to my, my barn. I'll just build another one. You know that your teaching tool, your teaching bot pointed out may breach TOC. My teaching bot might break terms and conditions. What's that? Explain. Explain. A sneaky shadow ban is weird without even notifying. I wonder how many people. Yeah, exactly. Like, how would you know? Like, when was the last time you logged into your own GitHub without some, when was the last time you visited your GitHub without being logged in, is what I'm saying. Like, hit it with the incognito and see if you still exist. Because how would you know? It's not like I check. I just upload stuff to it and hope that it benefits somebody. Dragon said something about my teaching bot. Your teaching bot, I pointed out, may breach TOC legally. Why would it break terms of... You made Bob to experiment, teach people to cook. The promise being teach me anything at any level. Yes. How is that illegal? I'm just interested. Do you know what I mean? It could be valid. It could, because like I said, it might not be Vector. It might be some other repo that I've got. I've got 170 repos on that account. Like, if there's one thing that somebody doesn't like, yeah. This is why I need to start. I need to just pull my ass out, build a platform, and put all my stuff up there, guys. I've had enough of this crap. Do you know what I mean? Taking all your stuff down. Teach anyone anything can be exploited to teach harm. Yeah, but I can't stop people typing things in. That's supposed to be the job of the AI LLM company in charge. You see what I mean? Like, if I teach you to read, Dragon, but you read a book that could harm someone, does that mean I should not teach anyone to read? Do you see what I mean? It's a slippery slope. Yeah, I'm just going to create my own platform and distribute all my own vibe stuff. I think, to be honest, guys, when you do 170 freaking repos in 6 months, I don't think GitHub is actually the right place. I think they've actually been outgrown. I think they're little dinosaurs if they can't handle it, mate. It's too like corporate developer, which none of that even works. You know what I mean? Like, they'll literally, dude, I got fed up with it. The planning tool would be like, oh, this is going to take 5 months, and it'll be ready next day. So I don't really, sorry, I think these old ways of thinking are just dated, and yeah, if this is how GitHub really is, do you know what I mean? Like, we'll wait and see. I don't want to be all doom and gloom yet, but I'm not going to hold my breath, and nobody else should either. I've already bought the domain name. I've already bought the new server. It's going to be a new Ubuntu server, so we'll be doing a lot of Linux stuff, which I'm sure everyone will enjoy. What's GitHub, mate? I'll just take you to my website. You can download it there. Same with all the workflows. What, you need GitHub to download some freaking JSON files? I'll just make a zip download, and the web page will look nice. It won't look like crap, dated, and like nerdy. Like, no offense, guys, but it's 2025. We can do better, But anyway, I try to keep it positive as much as I can, but I just had all my work just taken offline with no explanation. It's pretty amazing, really. I should probably get used to it by now, because it's not the first time. But like I said, it doesn't slow me down. I've done 3. What was it? I think I did 3 more apps today, for various different things. So it's like, I'm actually developing software. I'm actually doing it. I don't need GitHub for it. Here you go. Here's your installer. Here's your zip file. Come to get it from my website. What do I need GitHub for? Let's see. MZ says you can still download your stuff right and zip it up and share it elsewhere. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna paste. That's the only option I have. Dragon said, I'm just saying you sit on the edge of brilliance, but you need to consider how a twat can use your stuff. Yeah, it's true, but remember, especially with this Vector Server 3 business, it's all working, if you recall, through VS Code, using the API through Anthropic's Claude or OpenAI, so the safety guards are here. I don't need to build safety guards into my bit, because they're built into the main model. So if anybody tries to say, oh, you're building unsafe stuff, I'll just be like, my stuff is as safe as the model it was built with. So I don't like, do you know what I mean? I can fall back on the inherent safety routines that are built into the system, so I don't have to do that. That's the way I look at it. You know, if I was making my own AI, yeah, sure, but I'm not. I'm using Sonnet 4 or ChatGPT or Gemini Pro. Or, you see what I mean? Because I've moved over to API. It's faster, it's cheaper. Potential areas of grief from GitHub. To be honest, I think that they were just not happy with something I tried to do. I think that maybe the website I tried to load on GitHub Pages was just a bit more advanced or broken in some way they didn't like. I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to speculate because I've got no idea. So it does sound like some AI is shadow banning people because it happened pretty fast, right? Yeah, it's literally I'm uploading the project, and you know how maybe you upload a folder and then you like upload another folder because you can only do 100 files at once. So I upload the first folder, then I upload the second folder, then I upload the third folder. So like each server has a folder of, you know, so I put them in. I do it the same every time as well. So if they're like, oh, this was unusual activity, I'd be like, what? Just like the other 170 times. Yeah, it's so unusual. But yeah, it does sound like, I think it is an AI that did it. And like I said, I went to a different account. So different account, different email address, but same IP address. That's how they done me. Because I don't play the VPN games. I've got nothing to hide, you know. So if someone said to me, oh, why don't you use a VPN? Because I'm not trying to hide anything. At the point when this is happening, I'm not really aware that there's a problem. Because when I uploaded the project, it didn't give me warnings or anything. I was just like, right, I've finished version 3. I'll upload it to Scuffed. Because you know how it is. I got Mushroom Fleet, where all the development happens. And all the workflows and all the guides. And then the stuff which is like, you know, gold-plated, that I've been working on like quite a lot. Like Tins, There Is No Software. The MCP for that, that's on Scuffed Epoch. So I uploaded the project. There it is. It was supposed to be like happy days. We finished it. It's in the bag. You know what I mean? And don't know. No idea. You know, explanations range from explanations just range wildly, don't they? I don't think there's any real way to know, guys. Unfortunately. But yeah, like I said, this was the GitHub mystery show, so I won't be going on about it tomorrow. We're just going to move on and talk about other things and do other things, but you know, just remember that that's the reason. The password reset requests and an offer for upgrade. That's what I mean. They asked me to upgrade and I didn't need the pro features, so I cancelled the upgrade, put that repo into public, and then tried to do the Git pages like I always do, and it didn't work. And I didn't really think about it because, you know, putting up a tutorial website isn't the main project. It's like uploading a README. So once I uploaded it, I kind of moved on to the next task. And then like an hour later, I was uploading to Scuffed, and it cut me off halfway through the upload batch. It literally like, it did come up with a message. And I was like, what? So I refreshed the page and finished uploading it and thought, that's a bit weird. And then Throttle started contacting me on DM. He was like, all your GitHubs are missing, mate. They're all gone. And in fact, if you search GitHub for Mushroom Fleet, there's 3 repos, and 2 of them are mirrors of my MCPs. So I'm glad they got a mirror, because if they didn't, it'd be gone. It's mental. All that research, all that source code, just flick of a switch. It's too much. It's too much. I can't with good even if they turn it back on again, I can't with good conscience continue to rely on that, because I know now that at any moment some weird automated glitch could take it all down and you might not be able to get it back. Because right now, you know, we're all like, oh yeah, they'll bring it back. That's optimism. We don't know. Do you know what I mean? We don't know. And I'm not like negative, but I have to be realistic. If they just wiped out all my work, you know, I need to do things differently so they can't wipe my work out next time again. So yeah, enjoy, as they say, hide the pain, Harold, as they say. But yeah, like I said, this project's going really well, and I've actually got more plans to make it even better. So it's not going to slow me down, but it's just sort of like disheartening, I guess, when shit like this happens. But I just got to get on with it. Like I said, if I slow down, it's just a distraction, mate, to slow me down. So yeah, I think it's going to be a couple of days to a week because there's no human actually looking at stuff like this. So yeah, it's just more reasons to build your own. You've got to build your own platform, even if it's just a photo gallery of images you generated. After a couple of years, it's actually a lot. You just keep putting stuff up. Right. Yeah, it is. It's crazy. And look. I might not have like big repos. Think about this, because someone say, "Oh, you don't even have a big account. There's not even, you know." Imagine how much more annoyed I'd be if it was a bigger account. That makes it worse, not better. Do you know what I mean? Like, say it was like really popular and had like loads of users and blah blah blah, loads of downloads. I don't think it matters because it's not a human process. You see what I mean? I don't believe that a human came along and went, "You're banned, mate." I think that an AI is running the show, glitched out, and it's going to take them a while to fix it, if they even can. It might be they don't know how. Do you want a mirror? If you want a mirror, put space on your site. Yeah, I might even consider that, dude, because it's all open source. This is what I mean. You try to give out free source code to the world, and GitHub shuts you down for suspicious activity. Like, what the hell? You know? It's like getting shot when you're trying to deliver aid. It's the same thing. Yeah, I don't believe a human shadow banned it. No, it's got to be some automated process that went nuts. Probably because they were like, "Oh, this guy's always uploading files. Humans don't upload files all the time. Humans are lazy." And there's me, like 24-hour development binge with the vibe coding. See, they don't understand what we're like, guys. They don't understand what we're actually like. We're like it's like the Renaissance painter who was an absolute fiend. Lock himself in the room and not come out until the canvas is finished, right? We have that level of passion with this stuff. It's not like I'm planning out a 6-month. I don't go, "Ooh, I've had a development idea. That'll take me 6 months." No. I'm going to start it now and it'll be finished tomorrow. Because we're not going to stop for breaks. We're not going to just do nothing for a week, right? It's just going to get made. One way or another. It's like a completely different attitude to software development. And, you know, some people might say that it's careless and, you know, all of this sort of stuff, but it's the new way. So, I don't know. But hopefully we get this sorted out, guys. And tomorrow we'll be starting early because I got a bunch of projects, so watch out for the pings. But that's all I got for you tonight. So, with that, thank you very much, everybody. I'm now disappearing in a cloud of smoke. I will see you all at 8 p.m. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.